dive into sustainability in some form and fashion. So look at Greenworks, and if they find anything that will work for them, we encourage them to take that piece and plagiarize it and make it work for them. And we want to be a ready resource to assist in any way that we can as well. So sustainability, it continues its evolution from what we started calling it green in the very beginning. And most elements that we associate with sustainability do overlap both the private and public sectors. People that haven't bought into sustainability yet need to, and they need to understand that it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's going to be ever ongoing. I mean, everything you see on the news, everything you're hearing from the White House today talking about climate change, whether you buy into climate change or not really doesn't matter to me. We can make a difference positively, and it's, you know, I'm not going to be a naysayer or a haysayer. I'm not going to try to convince you one way or the other. But we do need to have resilience as a standard that we build in, and we need to think about our own security as well. Greenworks Orlando in 2013 morphed into a separate article that still continues to operate on its own, and this is our public outreach piece. It's called the 2013 Community Action Plan. You can see that it talks about energy and green buildings. We're working with our local utilities to improve how they share information with the community so that they can be cognizant of what they're consuming and try to improve. They talk about food systems, the green economy, livability, solid waste, transportation, and water. All of these elements are encompassed in the Community Action Plan, and this, just like Greenworks Orlando, continues to morph day to day, year to year. When you look at the Energy Action Plan piece, and all of these resources are also available at thecityoforlando.net. We talk about what's going on currently in the state, the theory of change, and the potential vision that we see as we move out. That center picture actually has Mayor Dyer, and right behind him is Byron Nibs. He's one of the VPs from OUC. This is an installation of the solar array on my fleet garage. I'll have a picture of that. A lot of people say to me, well, that's really good. It looks like you got the mayor posed there for a picture, and he snaps the picture and goes on. I like to tell people the mayor has an engineering background, and when he comes out and does these work-alongs that he does, he comes out with the intent to stay for a couple of hours, and he loves to get dirty and really get his hands onto things. He's not a posing picture kind of guy. So when we talk about food in that outreaching plan, we have launched community gardens. There are urban farms, and associated with the community gardens and the urban farms, we've developed these food hubs. And it's just made a tremendous outreach to the city. We've passed ordinances where people can convert a portion of their yard into a garden now if they want to. We have a pilot program with, I think, 125 citizens that have chicken coops in their yards. So, you know, it's just, here we are in this huge metropolitan area with all of these farm pieces combined. We talk about making these, this shows a map of the city of Orlando and the area where the food sources are being distributed. We talk about livability in that plan. We talk about new community tree planting initiative. We are striving to plant a total of 100,000 trees for our canopy here to make a difference here in the city. We have a lot of programs relative to using reclaimed wood to lumber, and we've really put in the last 7 years a tremendous amount of effort into walkable main streets, bike trails. We're very involved in bringing Sunrail to the city. So we're kind of walking the walk and putting our money where our mouth is. We talk about recycling. We've got a lot of new technologies that we're helping deploy. We're reducing costs. We have a single stream recycling process internally with the city and at the curb. And we're also helping get manufactured goods from recycled and recovered materials into the marketplace, trying to be a resource in that fashion too. So Greenworks Orlando, you know, our success is measured in many ways. This particular year is a stellar year for us because you'll see how we've done in the 100 best ranking. I had 2 events in DC when I was up there. One was with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Energy Star National Building Competition. They put us in that top 10 finisher ranking. You'll see that we actually came in 5th out of 5,680 entries, one of the reasons we were taken to the White House campus. And then the other one was the U.S. Department of Energy Better Buildings Challenge. And we got special recognition there because of what we've done with some of our energy efficiency processes here in the city. And of course, I will be in Columbus. Turned in my application for Green Fleet yesterday, and we ranked 19th last year, and I'm really hoping to do better this year. But we're better just because we're a part of it. It makes a difference. And I put this slide in. I know, Rick, you didn't see this when I just put this in today, but when I get asked why did we join the Green Fleet contest, we say to people these things. Having that opportunity to participate in the Green Fleet Award program has proven to be not only an incentive for us to stretch our collective envelope in seeking productivity improvements and exceptional customer service delivery, it has become a key pillar of pride for Mayor Dyer, our City Council, City Senior Management, and the entire Fleet Facilities Management team as well. Simply spoken, we are better than we have ever been because of our participation and what we are, and we're not done yet. We're going to do more. Each year we will continue to raise the expectation bar and then strive to exceed our own expectations. City of Orlando Fleet and Facilities Management operation will be a world-class provider before we are through, and then we will maintain that level of success in customer service delivery. And as a part of the Green Fleet and other communities in which we participate, we are collectively changing the world and shaping a better future for all. And each and every one of you are part of that as well. Now, when I went to D.C., Tom has asked me to put some pictures in here, so I plugged them in real quickly. But if you want to see everything that took place, there's a little extra piece on the slide. That address that you see right there has all of the pictures, pardon me, folks, has all of the pictures from my trip to D.C., so you can sort through there. I'm in a few of them. This is one of the meetings. We had over 900 people in attendance. There were 160 of us invited up to the White House campus. This is the Department of Energy's building, which is inside the secure White House campus perimeter. This was inside one of the rooms where we actually had our meeting. They crammed about 160 of us in this one room for the presentation. They did give us snacks and water, but I'm going to tell you, the room was a little crowded with 160 folks inside. But we had lots of opportunities to interact with one another. Of the 160 people that were invited out of the 900 participants, I was really pleased. I actually tried to get Mayor Dyer to go, and he couldn't make it, so I tried to get my boss, our CFO, to go. She couldn't make it, so it was a lot of fun for me. We were represented last year, and we will continue to participate with this Better Buildings Challenge as it moves forward. This is one of our breakout planning sessions. I'm the last guy on the right, animated with my hands. So again, sustainability is a journey, not a destination. Currently, we have Nissan Leaf, Chevy Volt, Ford Fusion hybrids, Toyota Camry hybrids, Parker hydraulic hybrid solid waste trucks, CNG residential and commercial solid waste trucks in our inventory. We have additional Chevy Volts, Ford Fusion hybrids, Toyota Camry hybrids, CNG residential and commercial solid waste trucks, CNG forestry trucks, CNG dump trucks, and streets and stormwater and wastewater trucks coming. And we decided this morning that we're going to go ahead and buy probably at least 6 to 10 more Nissan Leafs to go with the 6 that we have in our current pool inventory. And we're also going to launch an EV motorcycle and 2 hybrid fuel pilots in the next 30 days. But there's so much to talk about, so little time. I look forward to talking more to some of you in Columbus this September. And Mark knows that I am anxiously awaiting the production of the standard pickup truck by VIA Motors. I've been watching VIA Motors since Bob Lutz left GM and went to VIA Motors, and I'm anxiously awaiting the standard pickup truck because I've got a standing order. I'm ready to take 25 right now. This is a picture of my fleet compound. It's about 10 acres. You can see the solar array that's on its roof. This solar array is just over 3 years old. It was a private-public partnership between ESA Renewables, OUC. I provided the footprint. This is a ballasted system. It produces more energy during the day than we consume on the entire 10-acre site. The other 2 big buildings you see on property we're going to cover, and we will then consistently produce more power on a sunny day than we consume between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10:30 p.m. when we operate. And that'll be done before the end of this year. You can see where our CNG time fuel station is going to be completed by the end of this year. That construction is ongoing. And this really worked out good for us. We were putting a new roof on the building anyway. This ballasted system that cost me nothing, we were able to lock in our electric rate for 25 years at the current rate. So it's a win-win. And we've got a bunch of additional technology on the site. We've been successful with ERA grant dollars in the past, and now we're spending $17.5 million over the next 3 years, next year and a half, because we're into this process, on upgrading 55 additional buildings, including City Hall. That's my presentation. If there are questions, I'll look forward to them. And again, I hope to see everybody in Columbus. Rick, I'm done.
David, thank you. Great job. Great job. And I know you prepared that especially for us. And one thing David's doing there too that's the future is...
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
He is now in charge of the fleet and facilities. So consolidation is coming. It's a trend out there. We want to keep an eye on it, and for you to keep an eye on it too, to see how you might be able to merge your technologies with fleet and facilities. And David was talking about VIA Motors and the pickups. I don't know if Mark is on. Mark, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Great, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a sponsor. We're anxious to hear about the truck.
Wonderful. Am I up now?
Yeah, that's you, Mark.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry, I had to turn off my screen because I'm now running for an a flight back to Salt Lake. We were able to obtain certification now a couple of months ago. We've now delivered our first 225 vehicles to approximately 75 fleets across the United States. And we're having a lot of fun after 5 long, grueling years of getting through certification. So we appreciate the enthusiasm from David of the City of Orlando and other fleet managers across the United States and Canada. And we're just proud to be a sponsor of this program and these awards, and to be counted as part of the group that's changing the face of America to electrification.
So thanks, Mark. And I have to tell everybody that Mark's photo has not been photoshopped. He really is that handsome. I've met him. So if you have any interest at all in these trucks, electric trucks, please contact VIA. They're the leader in the country. And we also want to hear from Ecochem, because they have a really interesting proposal for people that are listening to the program. They do testing on underground tanks as part of the services they offer. And so Josh Koch is going to talk to us today about your underground tanks and with clean diesel. So Josh, thanks so much for being a sponsor. Thanks for being here today. Josh is located in Ohio.
Tom, thanks so much for the introduction, and I appreciate the opportunity to be involved in your initiative, be amongst such great individuals. Can you hear me?
Everybody can hear you.
Great. So I am Josh Koch. I'm the founder and chairman of Ecochem Alternative Fuels, and these are some interesting times for fleet managers. New technologies and fuels alternatives like propane and CNG, advanced emission control technologies, are turning up everywhere, all over the country. So smart managers are adopting kind of this all-of-the-above attitude towards preparing their fleets for the future. And, these managers know that our future is green, or at least greener than it has been. Over 99% of the vehicles that were being used currently are powered by diesel or some of these other technologies, and our fueling infrastructure that serves these is broken. It's contaminated. We have a contaminated infrastructure, and so one of the facts that we like to toss around is that the Worldwide Fuel Charter estimates that 50% of all fuel, specifically diesel dispensed in this country, is contaminated or does not meet ISO specifications for cleanliness. So we saw this problem and basically developed a process that integrates all the best technologies on the marketplace currently, and some that our new technologies, and we have integrated that right at the point of dispensation. So what we've been able to do is produce a high-performance, cleaner burning fuel, which basically is a fuel you can integrate into your fleet today without any modifications. You don't have to upgrade it. You don't have to retrofit it. So dozens of Ohio fleets are currently running now on high-performance clean diesel, and they've achieved an exciting 10% or better in fuel economy increases. I've also seen a significant reduction in black smoke and carbon pollution. And so high-performance clean diesel is now available to schools and municipalities in bulk quantities through what we've coined as the Clean Fuels for Schools initiative and the Clean Fuels for City initiatives. And if anybody's interested in taking a look at what we've done with those initiatives, feel free to check us out at hpcdfuel.com. And to get involved in these initiatives, there's a brief survey that you can fill out about your current fueling program. And if you do that, we will perform a free consultation and a tank inspection to determine the actual savings that your fleet will achieve by switching to the from commercial diesel to HPCD. Tom mentioned that we do tank inspections and tank cleanings. That's part of our program. Again, our goal is to upgrade the world's fueling infrastructure, and part of how we do that is we have to eliminate the fuel contamination, and we have to isolate it, bridge the gap for quality control for our fossil fuels at the point of dispensation. So we hope that we can push this initiative out there in America and really get some of the best fleets involved in this at the early stages, and become a partner of this Clean Fuels for Schools and Clean Fuels for City initiatives. And also we're looking to do some nominations for those fleets in the Green Fleet Award Expo September 24th and at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. I'm not sure why, but I'm just can't seem to speak today. So anyhow, we really appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk about our product. We're excited about it. We're working with some of the foremost experts in combustion research in the world, and our goal again is to push our Clean Fuels initiative all across the U.S. and beyond. So with that, Tom, I appreciate the opportunity to give my 2-minute elevator, and I will turn it back over to you.
Great, Josh. Thanks so much. And again, Josh's picture has not been photoshopped. He is that handsome. Speaking of beautiful people, we want to hear from Cynthia, and I need to do a disclaimer that, as most of you know, I'm here in San Francisco, and I need to tell you, if anybody's coming out here for a Happy Meal, you can't get a Happy Meal in San Francisco. So please don't even think about that. But I also need to tell you that my wife, Hildy, and I are driving a Leaf, and this vehicle has not been provided by Nissan. There's no reimbursement whatsoever from them for this. We are really pleased with the vehicle, and that's one of the reasons I asked Nissan to speak today, because I think electric is the future. So Cynthia, thank you for joining us today. Anxious to hear about the good things going on with the Leaf.
Thank you very much, Tom. And David, I'm also happy to hear about the City of Orlando planning to acquire some more additional Leafs, so that's exciting news. I'm going to go through these slides really quickly. Why are fleets going electric? Well, there's lower maintenance, repair, and insurance costs, lower fuel costs, reduced emissions, increased performance and reliability, and green image. I want to highlight 2 recent EV deployments. Cobb County, Georgia has leased 16 Leafs for juvenile enforcement, zoning enforcement, social services, housing inspections, and more. Cobb County plans to deploy 10 more next year, and they anticipate savings of about $246,000. The City of New Bedford, Massachusetts, recently replaced aging city vehicles with 10 Leafs. These Leafs are being used by health department inspectors. The City of Houston is a leader in EV deployment and has the 2nd largest municipal fleet of plug-ins. The city consolidated its employee motor pool into one central pool. The leaps are being used in that employee pool. Annual savings of $110,000 per year on fuel and maintenance are expected. The City of Seattle is another trailblazer in EV adoption. The city has 43 leaps in use. 17 of those are used by individual users like house inspectors and parking enforcement. 26 leaps are utilized in the city's employee motor pool. You can see on the right-hand side, the city has seen increases in utilization and therefore fuel saved. That's my brief presentation for today. I look forward to answering any of your questions later on. Also wanted to mention I will be attending the Green Suite Forum in Columbus September 23rd and 24th, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Cynthia. Good job. And we're encouraging anybody that's thinking about electric to contact Cynthia and to try it out, because it definitely is working for these cities. And we want to hear now from Livia Weisenhunt, and she's going to take us through the actual application for the contest. What we're doing today is encouraging you to join the contest, to enter the contest. And it's free. To enter the contest is free. One of the 100 worst fleets told me it was still not in their budget. So that is an excuse. I can recognize that. So Livia is one of our judges, and just an outstanding leader in America, in environmental America. She was recognized by the Georgia Governor's Office for excellence in the state of Georgia. She was named one of the top leaders under 40 in the United States. She was named Innovator of the Year by B2B Magazine. She was named Woman of the Year by the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So exceptional lady. Livia, really appreciate you being a judge for the contest too. And so we're anxious to hear what goes into the contest and the application. And by the way, we've extended the application and the contest for 1 week for those of you that are listening today, so you can get your applications in. So Livia, are you there, ready to go?
I am.
All right. Thank you, Livia.
Thank you. I thank you for the opportunity to be a judge again. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was very educational last year, and I'm looking forward to it again. And I do appreciate the opportunity to walk through the application, because there were some challenges to the judging last year, I think because of some of it could be the interpretation of the questions. So I just wanted to walk through it to just outline some of the things that we're asking for that might not be quite clear. Okay, let me see here. I kind of jumped way ahead. All right. Okay, the first page is talking about your other, I'm going to take it for granted that there will be no issues regarding the filling out of the name, address, and company, etc. So I am just jumping to the meat of the application, which discusses on the first, at the beginning, the composition of your fleet. And this is where we're just looking for the numbers of what you have for on-road and off-road. And you'll notice I've highlighted some areas that you should pay attention to. Like, for instance, they don't want you to count. It might seem obvious, but I don't want to, at the risk of stating the obvious, don't count your lawnmowers and small tools and power tools, etc. And then the next thing we're asking you to do is to break the vehicles out by class and by the type of fuel they use. It's a clean fuel. And this has created a little confusion last year, so I just want to go through this. In the center, you'll see the blue circle where we're referencing this. It should say the total number in the fleet class, because this is grouped by your light duty, medium duty, and heavy duties. So what we want to do is just list. You should have at the end of the day on the total button down at the bottom, you should have 100% of your fleet total here. And to calculate the percentage, just divide the number on each line item by the total number in that of that fleet class. and that'll give you the percentage we're looking for. If you have any question about it, it's probably better just to leave it blank, with regard to the percentage, that is. And here is where we want you to quantify the types of fuel you're using. And this is by, once again, by the vehicle class. See if I can move this little thing. Again, that middle column, it's the total number in the fleet class, in the specified class you're looking for. And then you want to follow the same instructions for calculating the percentage as in the previous slide. So again, you're going to be listing the total number of each of these vehicles by class and then totaling them. And to calculate the percentage, just divide that by the total of the number in that class. And here are your number 3 and 4 are your fuel efficient vehicles and your flex fuel vehicles. The fuel efficient vehicles are your light duty fleet, greater than 30 miles per gallon, and this is just a number, and again divide this by the percentage of your light duty fleet vehicles. This should be the same amount on the previous slide that was in the light duty category. Your flex fuel vehicles, the same thing, just enter the number and calculate the percentage. And this is, of course, because I'm in this business, this is sort of the meat of it for me. This is your traditional fuel usage. Number 1, what we want you to do is just give us your total of gasoline and diesel fuel only. This is your just regular ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel, not your bios or anything else, just your plain ultra-low diesel and your gasoline. And it's most everybody has converted to E10 by now, so as far as we're concerned, E10 is your conventional gasoline to be used. So in section 1, it should be one number representing both. Section 2, you can break it out here, the gasoline and the diesel. On this section, bio and alternative fuels, we changed the chart. By the way, if any of you are commercial, I am using the government application to go through this because it was a little clearer. There were some modifications made to it, but it's the same principle. On this chart, you just want to indicate whether or not you use one of these alternative fuels, and then put in your gallons you use annually or equivalent gallons if that's what you use. It's not in the instructions in the application, but I have indicated down here to go ahead and put a total. I think it'll make it easier for you to calculate the percentages. And to calculate the percentages, if you total the previous slide, number 1, with gasoline and diesel, with the total amount of fuel here, all of your alternative fuels, and divide that into each line item, that will give you a proper percentage of your alternative fuel use. And if you're unsure about the percentage again and how to calculate it, leave it blank. We certainly don't mind doing it. We double check the numbers anyway as we go through, the judges do. And 3 and 4 are just asking what is going on in your area. Do you have mandates? Do you have rebates with regard to taxes or other kinds of incentives for using alternative fuels? Also, I don't know anything about filters. This is number 4 is a quantitative area, so these are items that we want to know the answers to that are based on your numbers and percentages of your fleet, and maybe some other judges that are more related to the actual fleet and equipment, if you have any questions about this section at the end, could step in and answer that question. But with regard, this is just something other than fuel and something other than engines. This is just a component there we're looking at. And then the 6 through 11 is a qualitative section. You are given a lot of characters to be able to answer with, somewhere between 2,500 and 4,000 in most cases. And we want to encourage you to be as verbose as you choose to be. This is not a place for yes or no answers. If you are doing any of the things we're asking you about with regard to the carpooling, the ride shares, the technology you're using, funding, facility improvements, be as verbose as you want to be. This is something where we want to learn about what you're doing, and this is quite subjective, so this is something that we interpret, and this gives us the aha with regard to your fleet or your city or your company as to what you're doing. This is the kind of aha moment, for instance, Orlando would give us if we were reading through what they were submitting. And then we want to know if we missed anything. So just add in anything that we did not ask that you think is pertinent, that you think is important to that you let us know. So maybe you didn't have enough, your 4,000 characters was not sufficient to go into enough detail for something you may be doing. This is the place you'd want to add that. And that's it.
Okay.
Livia, great job. Rick, is it possible to bring up Livia's slide? And Livia, could you just tell us a little bit about PS Energy?
Okay. What slide do you want to bring up, Tom?
You have Livia's slide there, her photo, and
oh yeah, I can do that.
The contact information. Mm-hmm. And Livia, can you just tell us a little bit about what PS Energy does?
Sure. We are in the fuel management and energy management business for facilities. We're basically experts in fleet and facility energy management. And we have, of course, like everybody else, I mean, if in the user side you are migrating to green and alternative fuels, from the supply side, it's incumbent upon us to do the same thing. So we have a couple of natural gas pipelines. We've built 4 large CNG stations. I actually built the first CNG station in Georgia in 1993, and it was, we had the grand opening for the big one we just rebuilt in 2013, 20 years later, which is unbelievable. And I think it was David that had referred to stops and starts for, and not making mistakes the Trailblazers made, because, unfortunately, 20 years ago, there was no chickens or eggs, so that CNG station didn't have much business, and it was about the only game in town, too. So, and then we also provide conventional fuels, and we manage the fuel use, and we do a variety of things on our menu of services. We own the fuel and sell it by the fill up, or we just sell it in bulk. And so, we're kind of an advisory staff also, so anything you might want us to help you with.
Thanks, Livia.
Hey, Tom,
anybody that has questions, you can contact Livia and any of the judges. Actually, they're there to help you. And also, if anybody has any questions now, please type them in, because this is a chance for you to ask Livia any questions about the contest. Rick, if you could, and again, Livia's photo has not been photoshopped, but if you could, Rick, if you could bring up my contact information.
Okay, I can do that.
Because my picture has been photoshopped. As some of you know, I was born when Jesus was a teenager. So
yeah.
This is necessary for me.
Yeah.
But what I want to touch on now, we're waiting for any questions that may come in.
Yeah, well, Tom, I want to, I guess, point out, I got a couple notes that the audio was we had a problem earlier in the program.
Yeah.
For folks that are still on there, if you want to ask a question, on your toolbar on the right-hand side, open up the chat, and just type in, and you can fire it to everybody or just the panelists, and then I'll repeat the question and get folks to go ahead and answer. Tom, that video did come through. We could give that a try at some point as well.
If we could, because That's really interesting. Why it's interesting for everybody listening, first of all, how do you apply for the contest before you switch out of this, Rick, is the website on there. You just go up to my website, and the application is online there. It should take, it's the upper right-hand corner, it should take about an hour to fill it out. And if it takes more than that, then chances are you don't have those numbers. But you want to have those numbers because the first thing when a company comes in to privatize you, what they'll do is they'll look for your numbers. Do you know your numbers? And what I see over and over again in the marketplace is that fleet managers don't know the numbers, and that's a major reason why they don't enter these contests. So chances are you do, and if you don't know, then you need to know, because First Vehicle Services will be asking these questions if they come in. So if you could try, this is another reason why you want to enter the contest. Kansas City, when they won last year, they sent the TV crews out there to ask them about this contest because it was a big deal. Number one, green fleet out of 38,000 potential fleets in the United States and North America. So how did they do that? So the TV station came out and interviewed them. And also the city council had a special meeting where they recognized the fleet managers. And so, guys, there's only two reasons out there that people do what they do as far as excellence, and that is pride and purpose. And out in Los Angeles, they had a TV station that went out in Thousand Oaks, California, and they interviewed the techs. Why would you want to become one of the 100 best fleets? Why would you want to improve? And please go to my website and take a look at that video from the TV station in Los Angeles where they interview the techs, why it's great to work for a good organization. So, Rick, if you can try to access that video, this is Kansas City, the TV station that interviewed them about being the best green fleet in North America last year. And Sam, by the way, is going to be speaking in Columbus. Hopefully you can all join us for that conference up there in Columbus where we announce the top 50 green fleets. So you can get your award there. You could hear about these other practices. We're going to be visiting Honda Motor Plant. The city of Columbus is blocked off a street for us. It's really going to be a really good conference. So hopefully you can make it. And that you can register for that on my website too. So we're trying this. Rick is on the spot here.
Yep.
We're trying to.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and play whenever you let me in, Tom.
Okay, good.
Folks out there, let me know if audio and video are synced. That's been the problem we've had in the past. Here we go.
So, Rick, it looks like we're not going to get the sound.
You're not getting it? Okay.
Yeah, we're not getting the sound. So what this is, it's going through Kansas City's fleet, and this is the TV. There's the employees talking about the award and why they won the award. That's what's important. Why did they get this award? So this is really good for Kansas City to have this done. This is Sam. He's a fleet manager. He was a tech. He worked his way up, and he's largely responsible. Of course, he has the mayor's support, just like David Dunn does. It's too bad you can't hear him. But Sam's a really good guy, and again, Sam's going to be over in Columbus telling us about what he's doing and what you can do there. Columbus also was named the #1 green fleet 2 years ago. And so, did Sam fall asleep there?
Yeah.
He did. He fell asleep. So we might as well end this video.
No, well, that was me. I actually hit it. You want me to end it, Tom?
Well.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're not going to be able to hear him.
Yeah.
I apologize for that, guys. That just came in at the last minute.
Yeah, it did.
Is that the city The taxpayers want to know what a good job you're doing. So this is your opportunity to let them know. Just think about David Dunn going to the White House and getting that recognition. And the taxpayers need to know what a good job you're doing. I was just talking to Durham, North Carolina yesterday, and they're saying, you know, the only news that makes news there about the public is the bad news. So
Right.
Durham is looking for a baseline so they can measure and they can let the taxpayers know what a good job they're doing. So that's another reason to enter the contest. And also, it compares you with the other fleets in the country. We tell you what their best practices are. So we're encouraging you to enter the contest, to keep up the good work you're doing. We know that tailpipe emissions are responsible for like 95% of the pollution in this country. We have a lot of big fleets on here today. We could have maybe a couple 100,000 vehicles being controlled by the people listening today. Think of what you can do to eliminate pollution and help the environment. The Pope just put out an encyclical. He's got 1 million followers, and his number one priority is helping the environment. So what he says is you can't do everything, but you can do something. So we're encouraging you to think about alternative fuels, to enter the contest, to join us up in Columbus. Columbus was the #1 green fleet. One of the reasons they got that award is that they're taking their CNG and they're selling it to the public. So they're getting it for about 80 cents a gallon equivalent. They're selling it for $1.80 gallon equivalent. They got their infrastructure through private-public partnerships that David talked about, because that's a trend in the country, to get the private enterprise to support your infrastructures. So you'll be taking a tour of Columbus. Kelly Reagan will be speaking that day about what they're doing in Columbus. And we have fleet managers coming from all around the country for this. We expect about 400 at this conference. So please enter the contest, come up, get your awards, and we look forward to seeing you, and want to thank Rick again for hosting us today, North Carolina State University. I want to thank all of our sponsors, technology sponsors, and look forward to your application. We've got another week to get the application in now, so hopefully you can do that. Thank you for joining us today. Again, we started by saying the #1 quality of leaders is being proactive. And so you're proactive by being here today, but the purpose of education is solely to take action. So we're asking you to apply for the contest, and then I look forward to seeing you there too. Rick, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I'm good, Tom. But we got people still on, so that's a good thing.
Yes, I'm used to putting people to sleep, so we don't know how many of these people actually went to sleep when I was talking.
Yeah.
But I'm used to that.
Now,
So,
Tom, I'm not sure, but I think we had some audio issues earlier in the program. I will send the handouts to everybody that registered so they have them, and we'll go from there.
great. Thank you again, Rick. Thanks to our sponsors, too.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody.
Take care.
Luann Tesbo.
Oh,
Hi.
let's kill that. Goodbye, everybody.
You back.
And
Oh.
for all.
Yeah, I thought